In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
All right, we are mic'd up, ready to talk some gibberish, and it's serious bullshit this time, my friend, because I feel like the past. Let's
Oh no.
let's do a little trend analysis. Our topics have been kind of revolving around this concept, as abstract as it is to us, of fleet liquidation, selling our cars. Am I right, Frank?
Yeah.
Am I? And hello, Frank.
Hi. You are completely right. This has been how many genuinely we've been grinding on this for almost 6 months, probably. Realistically,
Yeah.
talking about how oh, look at us, and this is the most clown show first world problem ever, but being like, we have too many cars, what are we gonna do? Let's liquidate our fleets. And
Except we genuinely have car problems. We're driving ship boxes that are in various states of disrepair. Most probably can't operate under their own power for any long extended period, can't be registered, can't be smogged. We actually have car problems. We're not like snobby people with oh, my Murcielago's acting up again.
Yeah, my
G-Wagon
whatever
needs, G-Wagon needs tires.
Yeah, that's too many burnouts for the tube. I just
right.
We don't I don't we the gist of this, and if you actually read probably the description, I don't know, we barely hammer out a topic,
right,
let alone a description before we start doing this. So I'm going to assume the topic and the description will be how we're really, really, really bad at this whole concept of liquidating, and we'll get into it.
Yeah,
we will get into that.
I'm gonna run with the title of this episode. It's actually, I took inspiration from you ever watch Trailer Park Boys?
No, I've heard nothing but good things.
It's a very good comedy. And they had it. One of my favorite episodes is it's fuck high school, let's get high and eat chicken fingers. It was the name of the episode. So this one is called Screw Liquidation, Let's Buy Cool Cars. We're back at it, guys.
It's hard. It's hard because I was just okay. We are recording this to pull. Let's open the kimono here a little bit.
Yeah,
let's take people behind the curtain. We're recording this on December 1st, the first day of December, which is
the year of our Lord 2023.
Right, which is 20, if you're counting and you're playing along at home, that's 25 days away from Xmas, which I'm not exactly a church going gentleman, but I generally traditionally
24 days.
You know what, depending on the hour and when you put your tree up, I don't know, it's complicated. What I'm getting at is this is kind of more of a time of year where I'm trying to put more money in my pocket and be like, well, next year, and maybe free up a parking space in case I come across something fun and I have a reasonable argument to purchase it, right? There's forethought put into this, but a lot of it is we've been talking about how we have too many cars and it's become burdensome for quite some time, and right. I've been actively trying to sell cars. There's always a convenient excuse on why one car isn't ready to be sold yet, and part of it, some of that's very legit, some of it is softly legit,
flaccidly legit,
definitely not turgid, and I know
throbbing. Even
you've been, well, the need is throbbing, but we just can't quite finish that sale, if you will. We can't quite get the car off of our respective properties and into the hands of another lover, another owner. Have you had some recent success? Because I know, what was the last car that you sold?
That's a good question. Has it been a little bit? I think it's been a little bit.
It's been a couple of months, right? Because you were talking about selling the Mini, and then the Mini was good.
Yeah, I like
driving the Mini.
So the Volvo I sold pretty recently, the C30 T5R design.
Yeah, that was probably the last one.
Might have been.
That was probably the last one you bought as well, right? Was that the latest car that you've purchased?
I feel a little pressure from this line of questions, but no.
I'm not trying to lead Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this was not a leading question.
I think it was. Unless I'm missing something, I could potentially be missing something. No, I think that's true. I think that holds true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a turn and burn, which is fair game.
What did I have? 15 cars at the start of this calendar year. So I'm down to 8 personally myself. I have 8.
Okay,
eight
that's
cars.
pretty good.
Really good. Like,
yeah.
I feel like naked in the car department because that's such a low
so what
number.
did you sell then? So you sold the C30R design. You sold the Lexus, right? That was this year or was that last year?
Which Lexus? Oh yeah, that Lexus.
The CT.
Yeah,
the CT.
I sold that one. I sold a Land Cruiser. I got to do my research.
You got to do your own research.
I can't. I sold a bunch of cars, dude.
Yeah,
I'd have to look, but I know I've sold quite a bit. Like for me, that's good. That's good.
And I've been slacking. I sold the hybrid Civic.
That's right.
I'm sure I've bought and sold at least 1 or 2 random things. Like I think the 740 turbo Volvo was last year, but it might have been this year.
Maybe
like early on,
a while back. Yeah.
Boy, but we've been talking a big game about selling. You definitely beat me out in that department.
Oh yeah, I've had my beginning of the year. I sold like 3 cars in a month.
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah. 2
in the same weekend. God, I can't even remember. That's so bad.
Boy, think about it. Back. Beginning of the year, you sold 3 cars. We were talking a big game about culling the herd. And I know I've purchased a Celica Supra, right?
Yeah,
the 84 I purchased early in the year. I've came excruciatingly close this past week to buying another Celica Supra, an 85 Mark II. I didn't because it was not. There were too many red flags. I still think I could have probably gotten it for a good deal, but it was like no, it hasn't been smogged. It was my uncle's. No, I don't have any registration or paperwork, but I have a piece of paper that he allegedly signed that's a missing title document, and the battery is dead because it sat for a while. And yes, it's on a P&O, and I don't have any way to show you it was on a P&O. And then I show up and it was already warmed up before I got there for reasons that no one could explain.
Checking all the
and there was a bunch of body damage on it that was not disclosed and was conveniently avoided in all the photos. So I didn't buy it, but I kind of, I don't know. The Craigslist posting has been deleted by author, so I think it has been sold. Which is a shame.
Someone's headache.
Yeah, it's someone else's headache. Hopefully, but it was a blue plate car. It was the right color combo.
Dude,
it was
interior.
Dude, the interior was better in person than what it looked like. So it was a maroon. It was what they call super deep red, which was like the color for that car. With a maroon leather interior in very good shape. This car was very clearly garaged its entire life.
100%.
And the original plates on it. It was the original blue and yellow plates on it. And the story was that it was a one owner car. It was this weird younger dude who was chain smoking and like all the bad vibes possible. But the car seemed really good, other than like a bunch of random body damage that they couldn't explain.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, that would have been the opposite of what we've been talking about. And like what's funny is do you just realize what just happened? You and I were like just talking about selling cars, and then we started talking about possibly buying this car.
It was
and your ears perked up. Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, and the interior was great, and there were these red flags, but it was still good, and it had the original plates. Like we just so casually get into talk about buying another car when we're actively trying to get rid of cars. And this is the problem you and I have, my friend. And what have you had any dark temptresses?
I would just like to say, like, and not because of lack of wanting to, but if we were a married couple, Frank, we would be financial ruin, but we would be surrounded with the most epic fleet of shit boxes. Like we'd have to buy a field or pasture and just put all our cars out in it.
We would be like that weird couple who
so bad.
Like goes into business together, right? And like everyone they know and love and care about outside of their relationship is like, hey, you guys work good together, but like and you have the same interest, you should not, like, bad news. Don't go into business together. You're going to drown. Like, it's just not going to work. It's going to ruin your relationship. The business is going to flounder. And we would do it anyways. And to probably financial ruin. Like that's what it would be. Yeah. We'd find some way to try and monetize our pain, to the detriment of our love. But
truth, but I wasn't dodging your question at all about buying cars, because
were you proposing to me?
I was laying it all out to get out of this fucking conversation. Exactly. No, but I haven't bought a car since, like, I think the Volvo might have been the last car. That seems wrong, but I don't know why. We'll go with it.
I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was the last one you bought. But though, because the summit. God damn it! You bought a car. I bought a car tonight. You texted hinting about, like, I think I might have a line on something.
No,
and
sir.
I was like, okay, we need to talk.
Let me correct you, Frank. I bought a car tonight. Good chance I'm buying another one tomorrow.
Oh man. See, that I was reading between those lines, because you're like, oh, I just looked at something. I might be buying a car tomorrow, and I was like, oh man, he didn't buy something. It turns out you're buying. It went from a maybe to, like, probably to. Okay,
definitely too.
Sir.
So when you, like, get off a drug for a while and then you get back on, you try a small hit. I fell on a handful, a bouquet of heroin syringes. This weekend. Yes, a bukkake of syringes.
You definitely got casting couches.
Here's the fun thing about
cars.
I'm the one that cleans it too. I think we had an episode about that.
That's right.
But seriously, dude, I didn't tell you. Frank has no idea what I purchased.
No, I'm coming in. We're raw dogging this episode.
I literally went straight from work, bought the car tonight, without looking at it before. So
is it?
Do you want to guess, Frank? Because I have given him zero clues, guys, and I don't think I've given any clues about what this is.
Have you actually given me a clue when you were asking me about a car a number of days ago?
Nope. That might be tomorrow. That might be tomorrow's car, which we'll get into later.
Okay. So I'll guess that one later. So this one, can you give me a single hint? It can be like you can, at your discretion, how big or not.
It's
big.
A truck.
Oh,
boom! Curveball.
I'm going to guess that this is a
game within the game.
Mitsubishi Mighty Max 4x4.
Those are so cool. So this is a newer for me truck.
Oh, okay. So
also a curveball.
Post 2000 then?
Yep.
Ooh. I'm going Ford Ranger. I'm thinking this is an 08 Ford Ranger 4x4.
I like that, but nope.
Is it domestic or
Japanese, my friend?
Japanese. Sequoia?
You're getting warmer. More luxurious.
Oh, did you get a GX?
I did. This, dude, I found
460, 470.
This is a 470, which I actually prefer the looks of.
Controversial.
Dude, come on, not even close. The 460, I don't know. The 460 is a little too blobby. The 470,
there's never been other than the new one that they've teased, like the 2024 one, there's never been a good looking GX.
Here's my take on that. The 470 front end's a little softer than I like. The 470 rear end, though, is fucking brilliant. I think it's perfect on the later ones. I do. I think it's boxy, which I like in an SUV, and it's just it just looks good. But anyway,
the high mounted lamps. I don't know. Anyways, carry on.
I like it. So I found kind of a unicorn one, Frank. Lower mileage, one owner, no bullshit.
What year?
From the original 2007. So later run.
Ooh, late run. So VVTi, 5-speed.
Yep. And the newer infotainment. The interior is a little nicer. Yeah.
So 07, was 08 the last year?
I think 09
or 9
last year. Yep.
Okay.
Because 2010 was the 460.
Yeah. Those are oh boy. What color?
The pearl white, which I actually love that color because it really lasts. Tan leather interior. Exterior is probably a 9.25 out of 10, and interior 9.25.
9.5.
No, I'm really critical. No even cracks or creases in the leather seats.
And what's the mileage?
One owner, 140.
Okay, I mean, it's had at least one timing belt done, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Ooh,
Serviced
can I play?
serviced exclusively at Lexus its entire life. New tires, time and bout water pump. What else was done?
Lifetime,
A bunch of
lifetime California car.
its whole life. Yeah, and I signed the original title when I bought it tonight.
You know what's funny? I'm too much of a geek for this kind of thing. I would be tempted to be like, yeah, sign the title over to me. But can you sign this missing title
I
form?
didn't
And then
want
just
to
keep the original
I
title.
hate, dude. The worst is like the older cars with the old style titles, the little teeny ones.
Yeah,
and
the little
I
pink squares.
hate to get rid of
Get
that.
rid of them.
But, so
Um,
this was the
can I guess? Keep telling me more about it, but
I
then
want to say
I want to
140
guess the value when we get to the end of it.
140K sounds like a lot for any vehicle, but if you know GXs, LXs, Land Cruisers, usually 100K more than that is the average.
Mhm.
So this was a unicorn, truly one owner. Didn't go to someone that scooped it up or a relative, the shady shit that says, one owner.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think what else is. Oh, newer tires last year.
Okay.
Brakes redone. It has the DVD player that pops down, so it's the more premium
In the back. Yeah.
Fucking just gorgeous.
I've only driven one of those,
Mm.
and it was, I don't want to call it clapped, but you can tell it was an earlier truck. I think it was an 03, 04.
That sounds about,
And
yeah. Those are
and it was, I think the first year was 03, but I think this was an 04. You can tell it spent a lot of time by the ocean. It was because like heavy corrosion on the underside.
Mm.
And it had the chrome wheels, but they were all pitted and the chrome was peeling off them. It was at a dealership. I was looking for it as a good car for my my parents to have when my son was born. I was like, hey, here's a good car it was at a local dealership. It was way too corroded to
Mm-hmm.
to buy, but it drove so nice. And it was similar mileage, like 140. I was stunned with how quiet and supple
Incredibly
the car was.
well put together truck. It's so I had a 470 and that 06, so I had a later run for 470, and that's
Alexa, yeah.
LX. Yep. And
Yeah.
it's they're very similar in a lot of ways, like interior build quality, materials. I think they used a lot of the same stuff, but the size is so much different. Like it's not as long, but
Far
it is
narrower.
Yeah, narrower but spacious inside. Like the cabin actually has more headroom,
Mhm.
which is cool because it's more of a higher sitting vehicle.
Yeah, it's based off the Prado.
Yeah, the handling's better, which is awesome. It's fucking so good, dude.
Good. I think it's this. It's interesting. Everyone is always really into like 100 series and 200 series Land Cruisers for good reason. They're excellent vehicles.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, I think the GX is kind of the sweet spot. Whether it's the 460 or 470, two different generations. They're a good size. They're still big. They're still incredibly capable. They're still like, whether you're using it for towing or off-road or whatever, they're just so damn nice. And they're completely nuclear bomb proof.
The thing is, it's a large vehicle for sure. I don't think it's not like Escalade class or anything like that.
No,
but
it's the right size.
So we have a 2019 Lexus RX, which is not a truck. It's a unibody crossover.
Mhm.
This thing has far better visibility than that by like a country mile. And it's so much the ride, dude. It's unbelievably sorted. Very nice car. Air suspension obviously still lifts because it has the load leveling in the rear. It has
what's the acronym for that? The AE. I don't remember the name.
It's not the same as the LX because the LX has all four. This is just
the rear.
Yep, to raise and lower in the rear.
Yep.
It has the dampers that you can control to soft to tighter, and it has low range gearbox. Everything perfect.
They're good. Those are really good. So
you're gonna guess the price?
Can I get what you paid for it? Because I think like quote unquote street value.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm a little bit of a homer with these cars, but because it's a late run car, a lifetime one owner California truck,
maintenance done, which is huge.
And that's the rub on. I was just discussing this with somebody so today I sold my friend's 04 4Runner Limited on Cars and Bids.
Is absolutely timeless. Those things look so damn good.
It's
because it's a GX.
Kind of the sweet spot. Like the improvements they made in those over the third gen are pretty substantial to a point where it feels like a far more modern vehicle in a good way.
Well, quality
over a third gen.
quality of life, like interior amenities and quality.
And just
absolutely.
kind of everything about them. So they're kind of, in my opinion, I think the 4th gen is the sweet spot because let's face it, does it feel old-ish and body on frame-ish and truck-ish? Yes. But so does a brand new 2023. So you might as well just buy the 4th gen. And so this one,
you can get a V8 too. One of the best V8s ever made.
V8s, it's almost like it's the same one in your GX 470, sir.
So much like the same one.
But here's the thing is, anyone that wants to buy, like, we're uniquely positioned here in California when it comes specifically when it comes to Toyota trucks and SUVs, because they are but from the mid, basically forever, Toyotas have been prone to rust. That's like their one bugaboo.
Those 80s pickups back in the Northeast.
Oh yeah, Swiss cheese.
5 years
they don't
gone.
exist.
5 years gone.
And so to the point where like there are regional specific recalls on those trucks where, you go and you get a frame replacement because the frames would rot out.
You get a frame.
Under
you get a
recall.
frame.
Exactly. Yeah. And so none of that's not a thing out here. And so people will pay a big premium to buy a lifetime California truck, even if it's got 300,000 miles, because they all return to the earth in Ohio or Illinois or Buffalo, like
New England, bub.
Yeah. And so those are all, people buy them from out of here. So we sold it today. It went for $9,200, which is pretty good.
Yeah, good.
We were hoping for 85 to 10. Nice. And so it hit right where it should have. But because it's in California, like people will pony up. And I guarantee that what's funny is that the owner's in the Bay Area. So whatever. But like other people bidding on it were, people will gladly pay $2,500 to ship it across the country.
Oh yeah.
Because it's out of California. And so that is a huge factor in value on like your rig. I think street value on that truck is probably very high teens. I bet like 18.5 would be like a reasonable private party exchange. Because it's a good color, it's the right year, it's a later truck, which there's actually big differences compared to the early one. So I'm gonna say the street value is 18.5. I'm gonna say you paid 11.2.
I wish.
Oh man.
That would be the steal of the century. So
it would have been.
This was a deal where they knew what they had. And if you check the market recently, they've gone up a bit, and the GXs especially have held their value. Yeah. I scored it for, I thought, a song at $15K.
It's still a killer deal. Because even here's the thing, my quote unquote brain street price of 18.5. That's still a good buy at that price, because guess what? The upgrades to that, to like a new one, are not that substantial unless you're like really horny for like modern Lexus infotainment, which is not good.
Yeah. Getting better, but yeah.
Yeah. So like, and at 15 grand, you can hand that down in 25 years.
Grandchildren.
Yeah. And it would, yeah, you can just shrug it off. And that's why they, like my Lexus, my LS, I put 100,000 more miles on that car. I can sell it for what I paid for it. You can put 100,000 miles on that truck that you just bought.
Oh yeah.
And with 240 and sell for what? 13.5.
Probably.
Like, take like almost no hit on it. So,
yeah.
And the care and feeding is not crazy. It's not, it's not a Maserati. So well bought, sir. And thanks, while we're shaming each other for purchasing cars, before you get into the one that you might purchase tomorrow, maybe, and then I have a guess and I think I might know what it is. You know how I mentioned I almost bought that red 85 Celica Supra, the other Mark II?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a response from somebody, and I won't be able to pull it off now. Until end of next week, and this car is going to sell by then. It's too good. But I sent a message to a dude. I caught it last night at like 10 o'clock at night. The guy had put it up same day, but it's locally here in San Mateo, asking $5,800 or best offer. And I think I could probably get it down to $5,000. Just had a major service, quote unquote major service, including timing belt, water pump, tires, brakes, bunch of other stuff. Currently tags December of this year. Past smog. Long time owner. It had the It had the sunset plates on it. So late 80s, early 90s plates. 1987. Take a guess. I sent a message to the guy. I didn't hear back.
It
White
can't
over
be
black.
another. It can't not. It can't. Is it another Toyota?
No.
87, you say?
80s, 1987. White over black.
Wait.
2 doors.
Not a Toyota.
No.
Is it a Porsche?
944.
I knew you were gonna say that.
944, 100 and had 170,000 miles. Long-term owner. If I could, and I think there will be something catastrophically wrong if it's still available. Because I'm skipping town. I'm taking the kid out to his birthday, my wife and I and some family, to the Great Wolf Lodge, which is a hotel meshed with a water park. It's weird.
Yeah.
So we're doing that this weekend, and then I'm going down to San Diego for some cards and bids nonsense for the first half of the week. So it should not be still available when I get back, but it seemed like a really tight car, white over black, manual, runs great.
Did you propose, since it's a 944, your 924s on a magnitude of 2 basically trade evenly? 2 924s, which are you wanting to get rid of, I think. Trade it up, man. Just go see what he'll say.
In my mind, I would have picked it up to simply, only thing it really needs, at least that I can tell in photos. Who knows what kind of can of worms it is in person, but first blush is the only thing it needs is like the side bolster on the seat, the driver's seat, which is hammered,
blown out,
completely gone. Yeah. And so it would need that, I think. But I think if I took care of that, assuming it didn't need anything else crazy, which is a bold assumption, I mean, it's probably an $8,500 car, maybe $9,000. So I was, I sent a note like, hey, like I want to come check it out. It's in San Mateo. I can come today. And I just didn't hear back. I assume he got blown up on it.
Oh yeah.
But that brings us back to our thesis here of what are we doing, man?
What thesis, man?
What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah. So about tomorrow. So I'm at a divergence of paths. So I have 2 options tomorrow that I'm entertaining. I kind of told you the other one, and I still really want to go down that path, but there might be another path that makes logical sense. I'm going to
you're gonna look at maybe 2 cars tomorrow.
Oh, I am.
Oh, I'm not mad. I'm just.
It's the weekend, baby.
Carrie.
Let's go.
I can't. Yeah.
It was a long week, man. Hard work week. I just want to unwind a little bit and blow fucking more money than I earned. But that's the American way.
Exactly.
Put on my credit card. Max this fucker out. So yes. So I actually talked to Frank about this one, so he has a little heads up. But it's the Lexus weekend to remember at my house this weekend.
Wait, it's December 1st. So you bought the one Lexus.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's December 2nd.
You got to add
might
a second.
buy another Lexus. If you just buy a Lexus every day in the month of December, it truly will be a December to remember.
I will truly be arrested for fraud.
December to dismember. Yes.
So I spilled the beans to you. This is a car I really like. It's an absolute. You have a version of it, a newer version. It's a 1990 Lexus LS 400. And if you want to talk about low mileage, Frank, how many? And that's the first year, guys. That is the Genesis, not to be confused with Hyundai's luxury brand. That is the Genesis of Lexus. They don't even have the model number on those cars. It just says Lexus on the back.
Here's the thing.
Fun fact.
You know what it was? And you alluded to. You just said it's the Genesis of no. It was the Genesis of Toyota. Like Genesis today is the Genesis of Hyundai, like Sunday. This was the Genesis of today as to Hyundai, as to Lexus was to Toyota. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, not the Scion to Toyota, though.
No,
that was young and hip.
That would be. There's no young and hip Kia brand. Those the hamsters for Kia was pretty.
Were they?
They were pretty young and hip for the Soul.
They were something. But this.
So tell me about this car.
LS 400. 90% of them are beige 2-tones, which I think is still a good looking car. I love the ES 300s, especially in that color combo. This is that burgundy red, which you don't see as much.
Like the lip, it's like a raspberry, but a little bit more burgundy, right?
A little more burgundy. Put a little Ron Burgundy in that berry. But
Ron Burgundy.
these were great cars. They all have 200 plus thousand miles or have been destroyed, have been ratted out, VIP'd, have
Those are so good.
smell of the oldest, dankest weed, dude. They get trashed out. This one
LS every day.
Yeah, this was a one owner one also. It's his the guy's, I think it's his mother's car. So he's selling it for only 109,000 miles, which is kind of ridiculous.
Has had a timing belt ever? Do we know?
I don't know. I have to go through the service records. I'm going to do it anyway, probably because it's due for one.
Right.
Just
unless you find it was done in the last few years.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even then, like sometimes I do it for peace of mind because I like timing belts. I'm weird. But dude, interior.
Freak.
So you look at these LS 400s, especially the early ones.
Yeah.
Seats are just blown up like my butt after Taco Bell.
Well, that's the other end of this, right? Like I was talking all this like, oh, we're so special here in California, nothing rusts. Yeah, but stuff leaks.
Our interiors and our paint take that damage, right? Which, mechanically, I'll take it because if you've ever had to work on like a Rust Belt car, it sucks. It sucks.
It's impossible.
However, my friend, these interiors on older cars and body work and paint work is more expensive than most mechanical work. So it's like it's financially a kind of a trade-off, but personally, I'd rather
you can drive an ugly car though.
Sure, yeah, you can.
If the frame is Swiss cheese and you break suspension parts and the subframe falls apart because it's all rust, like you're done.
A lot of people back home would challenge that statement, held together with like chains and welded plates and very important
spray
parts.
foam.
Yeah. Rhino lining. But no, dude, it's a really good car. I kind of want to. I've wanted to daily one of those for a while because I've driven them and I absolutely love them. It's a big, cushy, reliable Japanese cruiser. Like we talked about Grand Touring cars there. It's pretty damn good as a sedan Grand Tour highway cruiser. Absolutely opulent for its time. And they built them at a loss. They're a very good vehicle. Option 2.
Wait, you're saying both of these options are you're not going to do both?
I don't think so. No, maybe. So here's the deal. That at that point, because I want to daily this Lexus, believe it or not, I think it's the way to go. But if I
give me hints at door number 2, by the way, so I can try and figure out.
You're not gonna get it. It's like so fucking far removed.
Is it a Noble? No, I don't know.
M12. So the option, for the LS would be at that point just to buy it, make some content on it, do the time belt, water pump, take my time, bring it back. Because there's a good market for those cars, especially that would be considered critically low mileage. You don't see much lower than that for 1990, right? I don't think I've seen one.
First year, and that car was bought to eat miles. Like that's why they exist,
And with that interior and one owner, that's probably worth a little bit, in my opinion.
In a good color, in not gold, in not beige, in not black over silver, which is actually pretty good, but still like
pretty good. The platinum had that color scheme, I believe.
Yeah, the platinum. Yep, platinum edition.
Other option I'm entertaining. Brand new.
Oh, brand new.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would have that alone would not. I would not be guessing it.
No combustion.
Oh
yeah.
Hold up. Hey. You're not insufferable, so there's no way you're going Mr. Cybertruck on me. Rivian? You like Normal, Illinois? You like Normal, Illinois?
I do love Normal, Illinois. Yeah. This would be more focused as an economy minded point to point car.
God. I don't know. Model 3? I don't know.
Cheaper.
Cheap
electric, my friend. Cheaper.
A Coda. Brand new. Cheaper than a Model 3. I thought they killed off the Bolt.
They did not kill the Bolt.
I thought they killed the Bolt.
They have 2 versions of the Bolt now, my friend.
Ah, man. I thought it was dead. All right.
Well,
Long live
'cause
the Bolt then.
they have the Bolt EUV, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But isn't the E, you think it's electric, but it's supposed to be like emotion utility vehicle or something
It's so
stupid? God damn it.
I
Man,
actually have you
I
ever
thought it
driven
was
a
a
Bolt?
fever dream.
Have you ever driven a Bolt?
No, I've heard nothing but good things.
They're good. So the point, the use case for that is I do have a commute now, which would be cool. And my house, well, this shop space I own is all it makes $500 premium of electricity every month. It's all wired with solar, the garage and the house, and I don't do that much here, so I have all this wealth of energy. I could simply charge it here every night, which isn't too far from where I stay, and I'd have free fuel for that vehicle, which is an insane proposition with gas prices right now.
So then get a Hummer.
Crab walk to work.
Question though, what is a new all in? And by all in, I mean like the taxes you pay and the rebates you get and whatever. Like, what does it work? What's the math work out to on a new EUV Bolt or whichever one you're looking at?
It depends your income bracket, but as it is right now, I believe I'm able only, but still, I get a $7,500 discount federal.
Okay, is that federal or state?
That's a federal discount.
Is there not a state one on top of that?
There used to be a California one. I don't believe it exists anymore.
Okay.
So you used to be able to double up.
Right. Yeah.
It was just a few years ago that stopped.
So what does that put you then? Like as far as like the coin, like I don't know what an MSRP on one of those is.
If you're going to purchase a Bolt, like a brand new one, it's going to be around 20 with that discount.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
A brand new vehicle that doesn't require any fuel costs.
And it's only $5,000 more than the Lexus you just bought with 140,000 miles.
Hey, you can't lock that center diff though, baby.
That's right.
No, it's that is like the most logical car purchase I've ever thought about. So I'm going to entertain that tomorrow. If not, the Lexus is still in play where I can drive an old LS 400 equally cool daily for different reasons and probably worth money when I get rid of it.
Well, if you do the math on that, right? So like, okay, let's say 20
get them
versus
both.
Whatever you would pay. Well, yeah, first off, yes, buy them
That's
both.
What's happening.
Because we're sprinting in the wrong direction when it comes to our automotive liquidation sensation. If you I would be tempted, and this is how we get in trouble. We should do a whole entire episode on car guy math.
It's not
car guy math. It's almost like gambling addict math. It's a little bit different, like due theory and just stupid shit.
Yeah.
If you look at, let's say, I'm going to pull a number out of my rectum. Let's say you are, by the time you buy that Lexus, you fix it up and it's like daily driverable. Let's say you're in it for $8,000. I don't know.
$8,000. That's about what I put on my math. Yeah. That's good math.
Okay. $8,000. See, car guy math. It's universal. So you're looking at what, a $12,000 delta? What would it take in mileage, like fuel and all the things on that Lexus to drive that over 5 years, let's say, compared to the Bolt?
In 5 years, it would get there, and maintenance and fuel for sure.
Right, but also that Bolt would then depreciate while your Lexus would probably stand pat or be close to it. I don't know.
Yeah, electric cars
there's car guy math.
Yeah, electric cars are weird. I would never consider keeping it more than 2 years. And the 2-year studies on those, you can unload it pretty good, especially with fuel costs being high. And I don't see fuel costs going down. There are places right now where I've seen, like, if you're putting premium in a vehicle, which Lexus needs, you're paying $6 a gallon. Which is absolute. Do that math for anything that drinks gas. The LS 400 was a pretty thirsty car in 1990.
Yeah, I would expect you're probably doing like 17 miles a gallon, 18, if a lot of freeway.
Yeah, but my commute is sometimes a lot of stop and go, in which case you're probably getting down there.
Down to 15.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
It is.
And the value of that Lexus really lies in its low mileage. So also like fighting the depreciation on it, keeping that mileage low and keeping it for just fun stuff.
But if you're in it $8,000, let's say it's somehow you drive 50% of its value out of it, which is impossible. But let's say you do it, right? Now it's a four. Now it's worth four. You've lost $4,000 versus if you depreciate your electric car by 50%.
Oh, sure.
That's 10, which it's not gonna get down to 10 grand, I don't think. But I don't
So
that market I feel like is more volatile. Like I don't know what
Correct.
the electric car market's gonna look like in 2 or 3 years, right? So I don't know.
The better option is this discount is available. I believe it's extended to leasers of vehicles. And I'm not a lease guy, except if you tell me I get a free vehicle with the rebate because it would cancel out the lease, and I get free fuel.
Yeah. So I mean, okay,
That's
then. Is that the play? That feels like the play.
So that's the play. I mean, obviously, I do the research. I don't think you lose.
Or you buy like a used Model S for like 15 grand and just hope it doesn't break.
You could. Oh, God, that's already lost a lot of reduction in range by that point, though.
Right, but if it's pure commute, like what's your commute? How many miles each way?
It's 20 miles.
25? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if somehow it's down to
100
100 miles of range, which would be undrivable. Like,
yeah. But getting an old Leaf with like 20 miles.
Get a clapped ass Leaf. Do you have a charging spot at your work?
Yeah, but still, it's like, oh, we're gonna make it.
Clapped Leaf, Leaf. Like but $6 grand.
It just makes sense because the lease terms on a Bolt, because it's so cheap, would be less than the federal rebate if you stretched it 2 years. So if that's the case, we're exploring that. I'm gonna get a free daily that I charge for free. The thing is, I have this wealth of electricity to use, and it's not a situation where it's like getting stored up anywhere. It's just getting released back to the grid.
Car guy math. Well, you see, I've got this solar panel, and it's all car guy math, and I'm here for it. Okay,
the savings on gas if I do lease a Bolt and drive that, gotta have the LS 400 too,
right? amongst everything else.
In one weekend, I got 3 cars, guys.
Right. It's okay. It's all right. And we're recording on a Friday. We're not even hardly into the weekend.
I start off hot, man. Yeah,
but that's my hot fire.
But that's my plan, dude. Honestly, though, if it does work out, like the lease agreement over 2 years is balanced by that federal $7,500.
Yeah,
you can't say no. Can't say no.
Yeah, no, just say no. What would the plans be for?
These are great.
The rest of the fleet. Like, would you then be like, oh boy, I sneezed and brought 3 cars in.
So
one is a lease, and so there's car guy math involved in that. But like the rest of it, like, are you gonna do content with the LS and burn it? Are you going to? I assume the GX is a keeper. What does that do? What does that do to the rest of the fleet? Right? Like,
we want to sell our 2019 RX, and I think the GX is an excellent replacement for like a family vehicle. My wife gets a vehicle from work to drive all the time, so she has 2 vehicles. So she doesn't need an RX. It doesn't make sense. If we have the GX, pile the family in, go to Tahoe. It does everything well, and it'll be reliable. It's probably gonna stay the same value, if not appreciate a little bit over the time we own it, with that low mileage and its condition. So that's the plan for that vehicle. The LS would probably be really good content. I think I looked up how to do a timing belt on that, and there's 0 fucking videos. There's one guy that's like, and it says I don't know, but it says not a tutorial on the LS 400. So that's,
well, you need to be Mr. Tutorial, my friend.
Well, yeah, the one I did a CT video on maintenance, and it's like the most popular CT maintenance video because Toyota people tend to go to dealerships. I guess that's a thing. So yeah, and that's good content. And I think the review would be very, very popular.
And what's funny is I feel like that would be great practice for when you have to do the next timing belt on the GX, because it's not the same motor, but it kind of is like
kind of the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2 UZ instead of the 1 UZ.
Yeah. Versus the iron, but
iron.
Yeah, dude. That's my case. So I am going to release some vehicles. I have this one. This one breaks my heart, dude. The Trooper will have to go because the use case, the Trooper, I fucking love it. It's like my favorite truck. It's dead nuts reliable. It gets so many compliments. It's a very good looking truck. Everybody gets a kick out of it, but it just can't do the Tahoe trip. It's like, it's a little too old for that to pile the family in. It's amazing for going around town, car shows, fishing hole, that kind of shit.
That's the same conundrum I'm running into where I'm like, could I sell the Lexus and daily the Galant or not? and like there's a power difference there, and it's a little bit different.
Dude, the
But like
Galant is
it's a
way
similar.
nicer than the
Oh,
Trooper.
it absolutely is. But compared to the LS and like modern safety tech and like bring the family places and
Sure.
like it's just I don't know.
Same thing though. So the GX also is kind of a redundancy now because it's a very, I would even say, way more capable off-roader than the
Far more
Trooper,
capable,
right? The Trooper's fucking badass though.
It is.
Trooper it just would run forever and be old reliable, and I love it, the simple nature of it. Super cheap running costs, but so that's gonna go. I'm about to get the Blazer back. Had the transmission rebuilt. I've got to do some.
Oh,
work
you
on
did?
that.
Did you figure out what the postmortem on
I
the
can't.
on that
I got to check with the
transmission was?
trans. I got to check with
Oh,
the
I want to
trans
hear.
shop. Yeah, I'm curious too. We didn't get off cheap on that one, my friend. So
Oh.
I
know that
thoughts.
was the plan. Like you had like a maybe a line from through the dealership, and
Yeah,
it didn't come to fruition, huh?
didn't come to it, and I got to do a bunch of work to that. So I'll get that out. The NX is still in the works. I've got to get time to do the cosmetics. Dude, it handles like a dream. It's just I can't wait to drive it. I just need to figure out where I'm going to be with cosmetics. That's going.
What are you doing? Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. You want to BCR that band Mama Jamma? You want to take it on the Breakfast Club rally?
There's so much to do. Maybe.
Think about it. Think about it.
But that's my plan. So I am getting rid of some cars, and these cars are all going to have use cases. Like I said, we're getting rid of our newer Lexus, the RX. We're getting rid of the Trooper. We're getting rid of the NX. We're getting rid of the Blazer. That's 4 vehicles about to.
What about the Mini?
Mini is going to go too. 5 vehicles about to go.
Yeah.
I fucking love the Mini. Here's the thing with the Mini. Here, I'm going to
The
say
Mini's...
it again. It's literally one of the, how many cars have I driven in my life? I can't even.
All of them.
Oh, a ton of them. The Mini makes my top 10 list of most fun cars to drive, period. No question asked. And I think it's more towards the middle of that pack. It's just, that car is just perfect from the factory. I'm not talking about reliability. I'm not talking about.
You're not wrong.
It's fucking good. It's scary good. The supercharger, the whole dramatic aspect of it, the looks.
The only thing about it though is it's utterly replaceable. Like if you sell that car and you decide in 3 years, you're like, I want another one.
Oh, okay.
You can get one.
Fair enough. Except the tricky thing is this is 88,000 miles. Sure. It has no sunroof, no nav. So it's like the best. Mm-hmm. That's the way to get. But
the right color.
Go look at, British Racing Green, right? Go find a Mini Cooper S Supercharged with less than 90K. You can't. That's the only hard part. Because the condition
can. It's tell you what, I'll tell you this. It will be easier to do that than to find another NX 2000. Than to find another ZR1. Fair enough. Than it is to find another Galant VR4. It's
just a good car, and it's sorted. When you get one of these cars sorted, like the new clutch and everything, and it takes abuse, and it's just, I don't know. It's something about how they drive. I've owned a couple of them, and every time, and this one's even better than the turbo. I don't care what anyone says. The supercharger noise.
Oh, it is.
The drama. It's just it's an experience every time you drive it. So sad to see that go. And then obviously I've got the Neon ACR and Summit all-wheel drive wagon will be the next ones.
Yeah.
So I'm getting rid of stuff, which is, I'm putting some stuff in the mix too.
Exactly. And meanwhile, I'm just over here like,
what's your exit strategy, Frank? That's a pretty good one.
Arson. No,
insurance fraud. Next question.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like TBD, I'm still, but that's it. Here's the thing though. Like I've still got my eyes wide open as far as like, ooh, here's another thing. But I guilt trip myself. I'm like, if I'm going to buy something, I have to have an immediate exit plan either for it or like 2 cars behind it.
That is responsible.
But it's easier. Here's the thing. I sold a Toyota 4Runner today. Wasn't mine.
Wasn't yours.
I'm meeting someone tomorrow at 9 a.m. at my house to sell a car. Also not mine. No, it's my friend Melissa. It's her 2002 Eurovan with 260,000 miles on it.
Oh boy.
Camper. It's got the pop top. It's a weekender. It's a cool van. She's got a lot of money into it. I took photos of it, did all the thing. That will hopefully get sold tomorrow morning.
Very nice.
Ain't mine. I've got my brother and sister-in-law's Mazda Protege 5 still here at the house. I've got it on Facebook Marketplace. I don't have anyone coming down, but I'm hopefully going to get it sold here in the next week or so. It ain't mine. So I'm selling everyone else's cars.
You're living vicariously through everyone else's sales,
but in the
you're not
wrong way.
doing your
I'm
own.
just
Yeah.
like handing people money and keys and titles, and I'm just here I am. So we'll see. I've got a crazy week the next week, and then hopefully I can at least get my ducks in a row. So if I'm not trying to sell a car into the teeth of Christmas, at least on the other side of the new year, I can be like fire sale mode. So we'll see. You know what else we should probably see?
A print ad quiz.
You should probably see if you can stump me.
Hey, now
you're due to.
that sounds sexual.
Y'all ready to get stumped?
Stump me, big boy. You ready for this? You want to describe to the folks?
Y'all ready for this? I will. Game? Yes. I'd like to play a game. The game is we should have some like jigsaw intro for each time. We push a button on the I don't even know if this works anymore. But yeah, we push a
that was the sad trombone. Not the rusty trombone. We should have the voice say, "Do you want to play an automotive print ad quiz game?"
Exactly. We need to hire like the jigsaw voiceover guy. Anyways,
put in our budget. We're good.
Yeah, maybe that guy's on Cameo, right? And we can yeah, maybe that's the thing. So the game that we would like to play or Jigsaw would like to play is as such. Chadwick here is going to find a print ad from a magazine, or let's just face it, a magazine from the 80s and 90s to the mid 2000s. And it's going to be an advertisement out of a magazine for an automobile. He's going to read the type copy from this specific magazine ad, and it will then be incumbent on me to try and guess what make, model, and about the year that he is talking about. He's going to redact out all the overly identifying information as he does so. I will get 3 guesses as to what it is. I can ask for hints should I get any of those guesses wrong, which I won't. I also get 10 minutes to figure this all out after he is done reading the advertisement. I'm ready. If you're ready, feel free to play along at home. Grab a pen or a pencil and some paper or a Kindle, if those are still around, and figure it out. I'm ready to figure it out. Chadwick.
Let's do it, buddy. And get this quick because we're running long on this one because we just went off the rails on a crazy train.
It was therapeutic. It was good.
It's a cathartic release of inner tension. So we have the vehicle burdened with camping gear, including a canoe across the roof. The tagline, hold everything. If you're looking for it's a side profile of the vehicle. It's next to a stream. Visualize, my friend. If you're looking for a tough off-road vehicle with room to spare, don't make a move until you test drive a blank. Why? Because it's big, with room for 5 adults plus 46 cubic feet of cargo space, the most in its class. Asterisks, I'm sure they qualify that statement, but the blank isn't just bigger, it's enormously better. With standard features like 4-wheel drive, a powerful 2.6 liter fuel injected engine, or optional 2.8 liter V6, 4-wheel disc brakes, auto locking hubs, and triple the skid plates. So you can go just about anywhere and take just about anything. About the only thing,
like mushrooms,
you definitely should do it for this trip, that it isn't oversized, is price. In fact, the blank costs over, you're going to get a competitor here, $1,000 less than Jeep Cherokee. If you want a vehicle that can, why isn't that a thing? Why can't we call them Cherokees? So if you want a vehicle that can, people will fucking judge us.
It's insulting to the indigenous peoples of America.
No. Naming some of those models after them is too.
Well, that too.
Not to mention everything you own. Check out a blank. We put a lot into it, so you could too, just like your mom. Go ahead. Added that.
Is there a phone number? Is there a phone number?
There is.
For their dealership network.
It's for a free brochure. Call this number.
Ooh. By the way, when we're done, I know we're going long, but if we have time, we should call that number live on the air here at 9, whatever at night it is. Okay. 2.6 or optional. 2.6 or optional 2.8. This makes me think this is, I want to say Isuzu, because I think Isuzu with the Trooper, I don't think I almost said Honda Passport, which is basically the same. I don't think the Rodeo or the Rodeo did the 2.6 or 2.8 swap, but maybe the thing with the Trooper is at some point they switched over to 3-row and they said it was 5 adults, not 7 adults. That's gonna be the shot I'm gonna take. I'm gonna say this is a 1989 Isuzu Trooper. It's gonna be my first guess. I have guesses if it's wrong, but final answer, Bob.
Okay, my friend. If you're looking for a tough off-road vehicle with room to spare, don't make a move until you test drive an Isuzu Trooper.
Hey now,
1989, my friend. Because
is it 89?
Yeah, because 88 was the last year, just the 2.6.
Right.
89, they introduced the GM sourced 2.8 V6. So you went from you had a 2.6.
The batch fire shithouse.
Same horsepower. T6, 4-cylinder, put 120 out, 2.8 liter V6, 120. Some more torques and twerks. I will show you.
I like how they do that. I like how they do that only so they. Ooh, look at that.
It's good ad.
It's moving. Is it moving? I can't tell.
It's all blurry. It's going.
Yeah.
It's next to a lake or that. Yeah, it is. It's got here's the thing. It's not moving. They did the motion blur on the photo, like the exposure fuck.
They photoshopped it in 1989. I like the you didn't give me the price though. The price was there. The 13,000.
I should have.
Man.
I didn't. Cherokee. I mean, you can't ask for much more.
Cherokee. Yeah, it was. We crossed off the Cherokee.
Cherokee jerky. A Isuzu Trooper, 13,499. So
question. Same era. The other one I was thinking, but I think I sluiced it out. But what I'm saying is like the Montero of the era, right? They also had a 2.6 4-cylinder. The Astron inline 4, but then they also had. I think they had a V6, engine. But it was
that the Starion?
Yeah. Sans turbocharger. But then they also had a V6 option, but I think that was the 3-liter, right?
3-liter for the Mitsubishi.
Okay.
Yeah. This I had to put it in there. I can't believe we hadn't done a Trooper yet. I don't think the Troopers were ever 3-row, my friend. I don't think I ever saw one of those. I think you're fucking high. I
thought they did like the Montero style, the flip up to the windows. No,
not on the Troops. The Troop is always small.
The Troopy Troops.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. It's a 4-door. I like the 2 doors better, but yeah, I had to give a shout out to my homie, the Trooper. I freaking love the Trooper.
Question: what's the phone number?
800 245
4549. All right, we're gonna call this in real time here on the pod. Let's see.
It's a free Isuzu brochure, so it might cover all the Isuzu lineup.
All right, let's see.
Welcome to America's hottest talk line.
Oh no!
Waiting to talk to you. Press 1 now. Ladies, to talk to interesting and exciting guys free.
Oh.
Press 2 to connect free.
I think I'm gonna hang up now.
I think you're gonna get some interesting inquiries. Dude, what a twist!
Full disclosure, that was not planned. That actually just happened.
You can't write this good TV.
No. I should I have maybe that's what we'll do is each episode we'll just like push an option on that Isuzu Trooper hotline until we get
I have a feeling how this one
single
goes.
MILFs near me.
All right, let's celebrate the Isuzu emphasis on hotline.
The hottest of lines.
Possibly hot gay sex. PCP time? Do you imbibe?
We should celebrate stumbling into porno phone numbers via in abusing PCP, which is Project Car Progress.
Like we should do this 2-hour episode.
We should do it. It was worth it. Okay.
Dude. I'll go first. Frank, I'll go first because I honestly have PCP, and then I have a story that's so fucking hilarious that it could be its own episode, but I'm gonna abridge it. So Isuzu Trooper we were just talking about, my 88
Troops.
Heater core when we were hauling the Christmas tree, so the family piled in, little Teddy in the back with the Christmas tree sticking out on his shoulder. We're riding down the road, and all of a sudden tons of coolant's coming out, like coolant steam, and I'm like, this is not good. Temp gauge wasn't moving, but tons of steam. So I pull over.
Inside or outside?
It's coming out from under the hood, out of the side little vents.
Yeah.
So get the car over, pull it out like a little P pinhole coming out of one of the heater core hoses. It's never your radiator hose that takes 3 seconds to change. It's always a heater core hose. They look to be in pretty good shape. So I don't know what happened there. It's like a little teeny stress hole probably. So I was able to replace that. Kind of a pain in the dick to get to because it's in the middle and the truck's pretty high. You know how that works out, right? It's very awkward position. Replaced it. And obviously you got to burp the cooling system, all that kind of fun stuff. It didn't get too low. It was just a dramatic leak, but $10 later, maybe 30 minutes of labor, back on the road.
Heck yeah.
The story, my friend. We go to check out a 2008 Lexus GX last night, like a really like 10 out of 10 on the looks department. I get in the truck and I'm like, is it okay if I test the gearbox? I always ask because some of these vehicles don't get used in those modes.
The transfer case
and the low range gearbox, right? So there's a lot where you can lock the center diff, which is another thing that can fail if it hasn't been used. So I'm like, I always ask out of like common fucking courtesy, unlike those people that get in your car and like just rip everything apart.
Neutral dropping it. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever run it with the e-brake? So anyway, dude, we get in. I'm like, is it okay if I do this? He's like, can you show me how to do it? And I'm like, what do you mean show you how to do it? He's like, show me how to use the 4 low and 4 high. And he's like, I can't get it into 4 low. It makes a horrible grinding noise. And he starts to go crank in park. We're in park, dude. You have to put in these vehicles. Neutral. If you're not familiar with this. Yeah. Neutral. So I don't know how long he was trying that. Or how Frank, I don't mean sliding it up. I mean both his hands grinding it in.
Yeah.
we go for a drive. And I'm like, it drives good. Drives pretty good. I'm like, can I try that gearbox again? So I stop after I gave him a tutorial, put in neutral, a little more grinding than usual, putting it in. And then when we go to take off, there's no resistance. It's driving like it's in 4 high.
Just saying but it's in 2.
These are all-wheel drive all the time.
Right.
So it's acting like it's
I see.
high.
Okay.
Because low range maxes out at 35 or 36 miles an hour in these. So it's like it's going normal, and except it's going and I'm like, that's
heavy
not normal.
Noise.
And he's like, it seems like it's driving fine. You can go highways. I was going like 45. I'm like,
shouldn't.
We should take like 20 seconds to get to 36 because that's the low range setting. And he doesn't believe me. The guy keeps saying, oh, no, you're just like driving it different. I'm like, we're in low, dude. We're in low right now. So what we do, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. We get back. He's like, is it okay if I drive it by you? You can hear the noise. And he says something to that effect. I'm like, I can hear it. I can hear it very well. So I get on the side of the road. I got my wife with me. We're standing near her car. And the dude fucking does like drag racing stops. We're in a residential area at night in a neighborhood. He burns the tires out. Fucking just
all 4?
Does 60 miles an hour because there was like loose gravel and everything. It was a fucking like neighborhood. Dude does 60, locks the brakes so you can hear like the ABS kicking, whips it around, does it again 4 times. I'm like, am I supposed to leave? Is this guy having a fit? Like, and the dude doesn't say a word, gets out, keeps the car running. You can hear the catalytic converter like tick, 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 tick.
Boiling.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, you should have tested it before and he was a flipper, which like automatically put me off. And he's like, well, and he did timing belt. He did all that and showed me the receipts. And I'm like, dude, you didn't test the 4-wheel gearbox, like the low and high range. It's gone. The transfer case is fucked. The other thing is the center diff would just keep flashing and not engage. So I'm like, this has some serious damage. And he didn't believe me. He's like, well, I'll give it to you for $500 less. I'm like, dude, you know how much a transfer case costs for this fucking thing? And you can't rebuild them. Like even Toyota dealerships won't touch it. So dude was like super pissy, but I don't know what the hell he was doing, Frank. We were scared. I made my wife get in the car.
Get in the car.
Dude, like it's a narrow neighborhood road doing 60.
Yeah. No, I mean, whatever. He's buying and flipping it. Like, I get it. Like, okay, like do what you got to do, but like, don't get pissy. Like, just.
I don't know if he was pissy. So here's the thing. I think he was trying to diagnose something.
Like, or in my mind, you know what I think he's doing? He's just like, look how fucking good this car is. Look how fast it can go and stop and just like, and you're like, you don't know, like, I'm just gonna leave now. Like,
dude, watching him double fist that fucking gearbox into low when it's in park and hearing it.
Yeah,
that was my story. And then it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
He has absolutely no concept of mechanical sympathy.
No,
like it's
and
not a thing for this dude.
he didn't pull the car down. It's still for sale. So here's the problem: it drove fine in like.
Oh yeah, someone's gonna buy it.
Someone's gonna buy it, and it's
And guess
beautiful.
what? They probably won't figure out something's fucked for like 14 months. Like they're because they're just not going to use it. Like, oh, it's good, yeah. And then they're going to get in a situation where they're going to decide that they need to use it, and who knows? Maybe they'll even think like, oh, I put it into this other range. It's still driving. Everything's great until they get stuck or something explodes or.
Oh, it's and it made a horrible noise too. So yeah, that was fun. That was last night.
Yeah, good.
How about you, man? Any PCP? Did you die? Did you almost get run over by a mad person selling a car?
No, what I did was I was like, all right, I'm gonna get this 924 turbo. I'm gonna get this thing ready to go. I've had it on a battery tender back here. It's over there. You can see I unplugged that battery tender over there.
Progress.
That's it. I also there's a the plastic face on the speedometer and one of the other gauge clusters, the TAC, has got a bunch of cracks in it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to replace the face of that because it's easy. And I'm also going to on the odometer. Speedometers always work. Odometers always worked. But the trip has been real finicky. And that's like the death rattle of like, hey, your odometer's about to go.
Yep.
On these old VDO gauges
I remember that
in the 80s is like the trip would work and then it would get to it like a 9.9 or a 19.9 or a 29.9
Yep.
and it would hang.
Yep.
The rest of the odometer would keep going, but that one would hang. And if you reset it, you come to a stop, don't do it while you're moving, you reset it, it'd be fine. It would keep counting just fine. So the odometer is accurate, best as I can tell. But the trip is not. So okay. What I don't want to do is sell this car or be about to sell this car and then the odometer fails and now I look like an ass.
Yeah.
So like I can get a gear for like $12 for a new speedo gear on this. Like I've done it before, not on these cars, but I BMWs and some other cars. All right. So I pull the cluster out, I pull the Odo out, I pull the speedo apart. First off, I figure out this face of the glass that's got cracks in it. It's been replaced before. So somebody's been in here. And it's not original. So it's flat faced. All the gauges are flat faced. They should be cone shaped.
Oh shit.
Like on my NA car, it's got a cone shape to it. So somebody has done this. It was like an upgrade that people used to do. I can't get this face anymore. They don't exist. It's like somebody custom made it. And I don't want to go to a glass shop and get it cut. So I'm probably just going to put the cracked one back in it. It's not that big a deal, but that was half of why I pulled this thing out.
Sure.
I got the gear. I ordered the gear. I putting it all together. And the gear just came in. So I'm going to put it all back. But the gear I pulled out, which is where'd it go? It's here somewhere. It's immaterial. I have the replacement one, but I pulled the old one out and it looks perfectly fine. I think somebody's already replaced this gear. So I don't know. I got the new gear. I'm going to put it all back together. Hopefully it just continues to work. And if the trip is still being finicky, then like, okay, at least I feel good that the actual rest of the odometer is going to continue to work.
Right.
Because the gear to it is fine. There's just something maybe wrong with the trip mechanism.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So I'm going to put all that back together. While I had when I was pulling it out, I got to pull the steering wheel. You got to do a bunch of stuff to get it out, get the cluster out and finagle it. Okay, let me turn the key. It's been on a tender. Let me just make sure. Nothing, like zero power, dead stick. Like, okay, well, maybe this battery, it's not that old. It's only like a year old. It's been on a tender. It should be fine. I pulled the tender off, find my multimeter, put it on 12.8.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, okay, but like no power. Key, like not even like turn the key, nothing, no clicks, nothing. There's no dome light, flip the headlights, nothing. So
God damn.
And even I tested it. The power at the battery is fine. The power on the terminal, like the leads coming off the battery, are good.
Okay.
So I've got good power there. So continuity. It's not like it's a dirty connection or something.
I've seen that. Yeah, where you don't get the ground or something.
Yeah, and it's not. So it's got to be elsewhere.
Oh man.
So that's because his car hates me. I've done nothing. I drove it in here. I was like, I'm going to do the responsible thing and put it on a battery tender. Nope. Here's
Frank,
a
you're
bed to
like
shit in.
in the world, in the history of the world, in 924s, you're
Part
the
two.
only one to say this is an unreliable, hard to get
I
running
am.
car.
Yep.
First guy that
Yep.
ever said this.
Never.
Can
It's not what
revolutionary.
I signed up for. I mean, it is, but it's not. So,
God damn.
yeah, at risk of running a 1 hour and 38-minute episode, that saga is continuing. So we'll I don't want to call that progress, but that's all I'm going to get into
God damn it.
today.
Shut us down, man. You need to
Yeah, let's
officially shut this one down.
Shut it down. Let's go home. Oh boy. Thanks for hanging out with us, friends. Both near and far. Chadwick, if people wanted to track you down, for good or evil, and follow along what you're doing, what would they do? How would they do that?
Basically, look for any car for sale on Marketplace, and I'll probably be there trying to buy it. That's
Probably.
my current trend. So just do that. Other than that, you can find me on YouTube. Also on Instagram at Auto Obsessive Garage, where I do rescues, restorations, and reviews of pretty cool cars and some weird shit that no one cares about, which is fine, but I love it. How about you, Frank? Where can the good folks follow you for your personal endeavors and projects?
Well, if they want to follow me, they shouldn't. They should follow us together.
Oh no,
as one. We are
Captain Planet.
we are VR. You ever do VR Troopers?
I do know VR Troopers. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Budget Power Rangers. Got it.
Virtual reality. Yeah. So when you're done watching VR Troopers, you should follow us. We are at APA Podcast on a nearly abandoned Instagram page. However you found this podcast to begin with, keep doing that. And if you're not watching along at home, you can do that too at APA Podcast on the YouTubes. Me personally, I am at the Photographer's Garage on most of the things, except for JDate. Otherwise, yeah. Thanks for partaking and playing and listening along.
As always,
way too long of an episode.
Yeah,
but this was good. This was cathartic.
Yeah,
thanks for hanging out. See you next time.
love you guys. Bye. Peace.
Bye.